it's like Mars here. This is pretty insane.
I actually nabbed myself an incredibly cheap flight.
So it's kind of like a gold mine here and no one knows about. Excited. This is like shopping. This is fun. Oh, here are the winches. Alright, the great unveiling.
So happy.
Welcome to our self-inflicted adventure.
What seems like a lifetime ago, we left Australia intending to sail our way around the world.
It's been a roller coaster since then, and while the plan has changed many times, we've been laughing our way through and learnt a new lesson for every step of the way.
And between us, the real adventure has only just begun.
Previously on Sailing Millennial Falcon, we set sail from the Azores on an 800-mile passage.
Bye-bye, San Miguel. Bye-bye, Azores, actually.
289 miles to go. Not long now.
We're here! Get away, sleep!
Oh, I've never been so giddy to put the hook in before.
We arrived in a bay called Playa Blanca on the southern coast of Lanzarote in the Canary Islands. After having a snooze and some time to put the boat back into a habitable place, we put the dinghy in the water, hoping that it would work after months of being stored.
First run in the dinghy for how many months now?
Oh, at least 2.5. You're a hoon! Oh, this outboard is such a champ. Still loving it.
We then spent a few days checking out our surroundings.
We're now schlepping it down a highway somewhere, as we do. Just taking in the scenery. It's like we're on Mars.
So we watched The Martian last night and Adam's like, I'm waiting to see a rover coming along and like Matt Damon just like popping out of it being like, it's like Mars here. This is pretty insane.
There were a few more things that we learnt in our first few days of our arrival. Firstly, before leaving the Azores, we were told that there weren't really any places to anchor in the Canaries, and that we would have to book a marina berth.
So there's lots of arc fleets passing through the Canaries at the moment, and some volcano has gone up there, which has caused one of the islands to be evacuated. So there's a bit of a scramble for spots, and we have a deposit down on a berth at a marina in Lanzarote, and we don't want to miss it, so we just got to get down there.
On arriving, we found a perfectly good anchorage full of boats just outside of the marina. We decided that we'd be better off losing our €100 deposit than paying 10 times that much for staying in a marina, which we didn't actually need. Our preference is always to be at anchor. We also thought that we'd get some boat work done while we were here to prepare for our bigger plans.
So now we've thought better of going to the Portuguese mainland, and we're going to haul out somewhere else. Perhaps we try Lanzarote, or somewhere down in the Canaries just before stepping off to cross the pond.
The first walk into the Canary gave us an indication that it wasn't an ideal place to do the jobs that we wanted to do. A basic haul and paint would have been fine, but rebuilding boats like we usually do didn't seem usual for this yard. However, it was a good place for flights. Now, I know that we promised we weren't going to go anywhere again.
I'm looking forward to doing a few miles on her and staying on her for a little while. I don't want to go travelling anymore via plane.
But sometimes an offer is just too good to refuse.
Having sailed from a Portuguese island and then pretty much a few weeks later flying back to Portugal again. What is the situation? Well, we actually got a message from our good friends Craig and Zena.
Now, Craig's known us a while and understands two things about us. Number one, we're pretty frugal and like a bargain. And number two, we need quite a few upgrades for our boat.
We are currently on the southern coast of Portugal on the Algarve coast called Faro. And they've been there for a little while and made friends with one of the people from the yard that they're in. He now has a big warehouse full of goodies, which Craig has gone into, seen that they have some cheap stuff in there and some stuff that we could definitely use. And so this is my reason for now coming to Portugal, to look inside this massive warehouse. So we've definitely got our eyes on some winches that are in this warehouse. I think we've mentioned previously that our winches for our sheets are very, very undersized.
Heave! Come on, put your back into it.
Someone makes one of those small boats. This is it. I need to tail myself. We are very, very much feeling these undersized winches today. So I think it's probably best if I just show you all the goodies in the warehouse when I'm actually there, because even I don't know what's in there yet. So I've taken a flight this morning, and I have gone from Tenerife. I haven't gone from Tenerife. I've gone from Lanzarote to Lisbon. And from Lisbon, I need to make my way down to the southern coast, to the Algarve coast, to a place called Faro. I actually nabbed myself an incredibly cheap flight. And to be honest, if they weren't so cheap, these flights, this probably wouldn't have been an option for us. But these flights were $10 out there, so €10 out there and €10 return. So far with the shuttling to and from the airports, it'll add up to about an extra 20. And about $40 for some luggage to bring them back home. So $80 for the new winch to get the new winches back to the boat is pretty good. So it's very early in the morning, and this is actually the second day that I've woken up in the yard. So the place here is in Faro, and it's on the Algarve coast of Portugal. It's really, really lovely. It's a very calm kind of wetlands area, I guess. And the tide comes in and out, and the only way to get in and out here is through this very narrow little channel, which apparently the owner of the yard will lead you through in a dinghy. From the look of it, it's quite focused on DIY, which for Adam and I, we love. So it's really good to actually like suss this place out prior to coming into this part of the world. Anyway, so the deal today will be to go into this magical warehouse. When boats have been here for 7 years and they haven't paid their bills, then the owner of the yard is finally allowed to get rid of them. He tries to salvage whatever he can from the boat, I guess to pay his bills back, because he's had to store this boat for 7 years without any form of payment from the owner. And he puts everything into this big warehouse, and hopefully he sells it off from there. So it's kind of like a gold mine here that no one knows about. So very much looking forward to it. Craig's also mentioned that there's part of an Ecotech water maker in there. So because Adam and I don't have a water maker, I'm going to try and suss out how big and heavy that is, and to see whether I can bring that one back. At this stage it's all wishful thinking. The reason why we thought this was such a good idea to come down and get some winches are because winches tend to sell, the ones that we want, which are kind of either 46 or 48s, they tend to sell for about between 1,500 to 3,000 each. This guy is selling them secondhand for 300 each. Now, I added flights and transfers to and from the airport, and as well as luggage on the way back, and all of that will equal about €80. So I personally don't even think that I could find a cheaper way to get them. A package being sent wouldn't even be cheaper than me personally coming to collect these things. So this is 100% the cheapest way to do it. Probably sailing might be cheaper. Just sailing here, getting a week to get up here. Actually more than a week because it's completely upwind. That's probably the cheapest option, but otherwise €80, I'm not that fussed with paying that for like cheap winches. So I'm very, very excited to go to the warehouse today. Alright, it's a little later in the day and gonna go into the warehouse now. Excited. This is like shopping. This is fun. All right, we're in. It's pretty dark in here, but can you see how absolutely huge it is? So we've just been left to our own devices, and so I'm just going to pretty much have a sticky beak at everything. Oh, here are the winches. Wow, they have a lot of stuff in here. A lot of it's old, but that's fine because we have an old boat. So a lot of the stuff we can use on our boat. If we were a brand new Kraken, we wouldn't need anything, but we just wouldn't, none of this would suit the boat. So this is a great place for us. But there are some things here, like a hatch just behind. It's completely brand new in the plastic. It's ridiculous, like how much stuff is here, how much stuff has got left on all these boats. Flagpoles, steering wheels, so many sails as well. So a spinnaker up there that's like a symmetrical spinnaker, brand new, doesn't look like it's ever been used. Just everything. But what I have found are some goodies. So these are the winches that we were eyeing up. So we're eyeing up a pair of 48s. Now, having seen them, they are massive. So no, that's going to have to be a no. But they do have a pair of 44s here, which are pretty good. And these look significantly bigger than our current 42s. But I'm thinking maybe those are the ones that we might have to go for, which are actually $200 a pop. So 200 euros a pop. Even better than the 300 euros for the 48s. Oh, I really, really want this water maker, but it's so heavy. I'm trying to think of every possible way that it'll fit in luggage. Adam's at home finishing off a yacht master exam, so he might not know to check the phone. Oh, phone call. Hey. Just a few lights around the place, hatches. What else do we need? Not really any barometers of our size. I saw a spinnaker here.
After much deliberation, we decided that the water maker was out of our price range, but we didn't leave empty-handed.
Well, winches are in hand. Actually, they're currently in a duffel bag that I'm dragging along. They weighed a lot more than I thought. I have a feeling it's to do with the chroming, understandably, because they just put a big layer of metal on the outside. Usually our winches on the current boat are not chromed, so I'll definitely need to polish these ones up. But they weigh about 12.5 kilograms each, which means that I can get them in one duffel bag and one carry-on bag and hope that nobody checks. So that's what I've done, and I'm now dragging it along the streets to get my shuttle bus at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be a very fun day. What we didn't mention as well was that during this whole thing, we actually rented a car to explore around Lanzarote, and I was meant to pick it up yesterday in the morning. So I had to postpone. We were meant to rent it for about 3 days. So I've postponed, and I've asked them if I can pick it up a day later, which means that we have about a day and a half, 2 days of exploring instead. Not a bad thing at all, and I just want to be able to explore Lanzarote a little bit. So as soon as I get back to Lanzarote, Adam is meeting me at the airport, and then it's go exploring from there. So it's going to be a really packed few days. Made it! Still at the airport. Car rental is here, and Adam's just coming to meet me. Oh. There we go.
Whose bag is that?
There's the Precious.
Is that your stuff?
Yeah.
So
All right, the great
heavy.
unveiling.
So heavy. Man,
What did you say on the way up here? It was chrome is 12 kilos.
Yep. And non-chrome just 9.
9. Wow. It's insane. I mean, it's a substantial increase in size, I reckon.
I think so too.
And like gearing and just all of that. Looking forward to seeing them side by side. How can we do? We'll put one on and
Yes.
then try winch something with it. It's like do a direct comparison.
That's a great idea.
Bargain.
So yes, finally we have some more winches, and yep, $200,
Oh yeah, what is this? What is this you got here?
and
other
he
things.
threw in some lights for free.
He threw in some
He
lights.
threw in some lights for
That's
free.
nice of-
That was really nice of him. I have a feeling that I was sitting in this massive warehouse for like years, and so there was some just some little like wall lights.
That's quite nice.
I know, right?
Join us next week when we explore our new Martian surroundings and go into more detail about Adam's course.
I think I can get through this little hole. This is definitely the way, babe. Trust me.